Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Russian heavyweight Alexander Povetkin, he is now in a prime position to potentially face WBA super champion Anthony Joshua after his win over Christian Hammer. A statement on the WBA website says the Russian is now the #1 challenger to Joshua, and according to a previous resolution issued by the WBA Championship Committee, the Povetkin-Hammer bout was an elimination fight for the Super Championship at more than 200 pounds. Okay, so effectively he's the #1 challenger of the ranked fighters. But remember, the WBA regular title holder can also be ordered to fight the Super Champion as well. So Manuel Charr, he holds that belt right now, and as we know, he has been ordered to fight Frezequindo in his first defense. So I do believe that is set to be wrapped up in terms of negotiations in the coming days. So while Povetkin, he's in a very good position, it's not automatic that he's the WBA's next pick to face Joshua, or whoever holds the super belt at the time. These are the grimy situations that we get into when one division has multiple belts. So it would be good here if the WBA can actually come out, clarify what exactly its intentions are so that Povetkin and fans alike know where they stand. I'm sure Povetkin, he doesn't want to be rotting on the vine for a year if the WBA actually ends up deciding to order a bout between the regular champion and the super champion, which would actually play into the WBA's stated goal to rationalize its belt situation down to one belt, because that's what everyone wants. And if Povetkin is made to wait, or if he knows that he has some time to wait before his number is called, he may actually want to pursue the WBO route, go for that strap, as it's likely he will be made the mandatory in that sanctioning body as well. So he's got options. I mean, these things, they appear straightforward on the surface. You hear he's #1, he could be in line to face Joshua, but it's boxing after all. We can never assume anything will be simple. So the WBA, it'd be good for them to come out and say something. And remember, Luis Ortiz, he was tangled up for some time in the WBA with the multiple belt situation when he was the holder of the interim belt. So yes, there was a third belt floating around at one point. So for Povetkin, a clear steer is probably vital, because if he decides to enter the WBA matrix, he may end up going nowhere fast. But what we do know is Povetkin is keen to go the WBA route if an Anthony Joshua matchup is available. He told Sky Sports this week, "I want to fight the best in the world, and Anthony Joshua is by far one of the best heavyweights in the world. I always go into the ring with confidence to win." Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn, he has acknowledged his charge could be ordered to face Povetkin at some stage in the next year, and he has also discussed this possibility with Povetkin's promotional team, which is World of Boxing. Hearn was quoted as saying, "We've spoken about Joshua versus Povetkin and the likelihood of that. We have a really good relationship with World of Boxing." So Hearn, he's not exactly giving a whole lot away there, but it does actually shape as another viable option for Anthony Joshua in 2018, should unification bouts for whatever reason fall over and not happen. Povetkin, he's arguably got the best record of any active heavyweight today, so it would be a very good name for Joshua, and he would get a lot of credit for beating the Russian. And I think he does actually beat Povetkin, and for a couple of reasons. I mean, if you actually saw the 38-year-old's win over Hammer, you probably, like me, thought, well, it wasn't vintage Povetkin. And neither was the mid-year win over Andrei Rudenko. I mean, he looked okay in both. But I just don't know, based on these recent performances, if he's got enough in the tank to actually beat the champions, the top guys. He is 38 now. I mean, Joshua would go into a matchup with Povetkin with a decent height and reach advantage, and definitely with a power advantage. And Povetkin, he's also a guy who's not terribly difficult to hit. So I don't really like his chances against someone who is that big and has such a good reach advantage over Alexander Povetkin. But in his favour, he is a really good inside fighter and he can crack. So if given the opportunity, I'm sure he would try to test Joshua's chin, which obviously guys like Joseph Parker have been raising questions about in the media. But on balance, I would have to say I would favour Joshua, heavily if a fight between those two was made. If Povetkin, for whatever reason, he ultimately goes the WBO route, I would also favour Joseph Parker to beat Povetkin as well. I'm not sure what you think about that. Drop a comment, let me know. It does look like there still is some water to flow under the bridge on all of this, on a Povetkin versus Joshua clash. You just don't know what the WBA may do or may not do. It wouldn't surprise me if they ordered the winner of Manuel Fraser-Quendo to fight Anthony Joshua. We shall see. But should some fights that, we're thinking may happen in 2018, should they fall over and eventually a Povetkin-Joshua clash is ordered, it's certainly a very good replacement option. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.